Hey, welcome to our class of Chad's BeerTube Academy. So in this class, I'm going to show you how I format my old, widescreen, long-form beer reviews down into portrait mode, TikTok style, 60-second or less shorts. In fact, usually they're about 30 seconds. What I try to do is, let me show you what I have here. So I have a spreadsheet that has all the beer reviews I've ever done, and I have them separated by year. And I just picked 2012 at random. And today is January 29th. And I haven't, let me show you this. So I have the column you see here is the long form YouTube URL. And then the next column over, is the shorts URL. And you can see I haven't done any for January. But you can see how they're kind of scattered. These are all ones that I did last year. And I didn't do any for January because I had a bunch for January this year from the top 10 best and worst beers. But anyway, normally I would try to match it up to the exact date, but I could go plus or minus 1 month. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 𝗕𝗘𝗘𝗥. So this is the editing software that I use. It's called Movie Studio 14.0, but it used to be called Sony Vegas. Anyway, so the first thing I want to do is, because this is this is obviously in widescreen, and we need to get it down into a. Actually, maybe I'll do this as the. I'm going to do that as the. I'm going to save that for the next class. I'm going to make that the thumbnail for the long form video that's on there. But anyway, all right. So obviously, I need to get the format into portrait. This is widescreen. So I'm going to go to Project, Properties, and then Template. And this is 1920 by 1080. That's classic 1080p. But we need to get it to the shorts format, which is 720 pixels wide by 1280 pixels tall. I just save that as YouTube Shorts as a shortcut or whatever. So I'm gonna hit OK. All right, so now you can see that the format, it is in that portrait mode, but the video is still in widescreen. So how am I gonna get this to match up with that? So I'm gonna click the cropping tool here in the bottom right corner. I don't know what software you use, but everybody's is different. So let me move this over here so you can see it. So the F stands for frame. So let me just click some random spot here. And I already have a template saved for this. It just says short center. So this is portrait mode right in the middle. And you can see it's like slightly off centered. I kind of like to get myself centered. I don't tend to move a lot left to right in the video, so I'm just going to slide this over just a few pixels. All right, so there you go. It's pretty much even, or I should say at least that's good enough. All right, so you can see this was about over 6 minutes. Yeah, this was like 6.5 minutes plus the intro. Obviously we don't need that. So what I try to do is, for my shorts, if you've seen them before, it's just basically the name of the beer, the brewery, the ABV, maybe the IBUs if I say it, just right away. And then comment on the appearance very quickly, maybe just one sentence or two. And same thing with aroma, because most people they just want to know how it tastes. So we just got to get that out of the way real quick. So let's start from the beginning here.
Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Chad's Beer Reviews for 2012. This is a really, really special beer because this one has been generating a lot of hype over just the last few months.
This is funny. This is from 14 years ago on 𝗕𝗘𝗘𝗥. This is like the beginning of the hazy IPA craze. So let's get back to it.
People are saying this is like the Pliny of the East Coast.
By the way, something that I do is I play, because have such short attention span, I actually play back the video at like 2 times speed. So it's going to strike or pitch the voice volume or the tone up, the pitch up, like chipmunks. Watch.
People are saying
this is like the Pliny of the East Coast. And it's actually relatively close to me, just a 3-4 hour drive away. Jay actually went all the way up to, I forget where in Vermont, Waterbury, Vermont, and bought this in person. This is the...
All right, so I'm going to hit split there. Make sure auto ripple is on. Okay, now it's on. That means once I delete this, actually let me make sure that, got to make sure that's on too, so that when I delete either the audio or the video, it's going to delete both of them at the same time. It's going to shift everything to the left. So I'm going to hit delete. Yep, shifted everything to the left. And I can actually zoom in here, and I'm going to pull this over right to where I start talking. You can tell where you're talking based on the sound waves there.
𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗧 by...
Anyway, so notice how I said heady, and I kind of paused for a second? I think I'm probably going to cut that pause out. I mean, it's only like literally a fraction of a second, but it helps with the shorts and the short attention span. Cut this out. Let's see how...
𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗧 by the alchemy...
Oops, sorry, I overshot it a little. Cut out the T.
𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗧 by the alchemist.
All right, perfect. Let's get the ABV and the IBUs.
Brewery.
8% ABV. Can't hold it.
All right, I just said 8% ABV. Is this where it was?
8% ABV.
Perfect. Maybe I say the IBUs. All right, let's try to find...
Can't hold it. The can is like a mirror with writing on it. It's that shiny. But they do make such a point of saying, drink from the can, drink from the can, drink from the can. But I'm going to pour it into a glass anyways. Alright, well, that's a pretty typical...
All right, I didn't say the IBUs. It's fine. All right, I'm going to cut all that out. We're going to get right into the appearance here.
Alright, well, that's a pretty typical, double IPA. Orange, straight orange, a little hazy.
Perfect. Straight orange, a little hazy. That's pretty much all I need for appearance. Maybe I'll comment on the foam.
Straight orange, a little hazy. Nice head on there. It's like white, frothy.
I'm just going to keep that. All right, so...
Frothy.
Move this
Smells
along.
like a West Coast IPA. Very stone, very Racer 5. Just massive citrus on this. Very Pliny-like, actually.
All right, so I always try to keep in either the word smells or aroma, so that way the person watching knows that I'm talking about the smell. I haven't started drinking it yet. So I said smells very West Coast.
Smells like a West Coast IPA. Very stone, very Racer 5. Just...
Wow. All right, so notice how I said just? I'm going to try to cut that out. All right.
Just...
Move it along.
Massive citrus on this. Very Pliny-like, actually.
Let's see.
Definitely the grapefruit and...
More like a juicier, sweeter nectar type. Like a tangerine or a passion fruit or guava, something like that. Smells really enticing. Jason...
All right, so I said... All right, so I'm going to cut out all this till the part where I said smells very enticing. Because, again, I'm saying the word smells or aroma.
Very stone, very Racer 5. Smells really enticing.
All right. So we're pretty much we're probably just going to cut straight to cheers.
Jason, this is...
one of the best beers he ever had in his life. It's too bad he didn't get to try it in 2011. But maybe that would be really interesting if, the best beer of 2012 is the first beer of 2012, so...
All right, I remember that. I remember saying that. So that is going to be my sting at the end of the video. If you ever watch my shorts, there's always a pause of like 1 second of black, dead air, and then it comes back to something that I would like to think is funny when it's out of context or even within context. So the part where I said, imagine it's the best beer. Let's see, where was that? I think it was about here.
But maybe that would be really interesting if, the best beer of 2012 is the first beer of 2012. So...
All right, perfect. And you have these... all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, zoom out, and I'm just going to paste it at the end. We'll come back when we're done. All right, so let's just get to the drinking.
It smells really enticing. So let's give the 𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗧 a try. Cheers.
Now, I could keep the entire let's give 𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗧 a try in, but I just want to get straight to cheers and the drink. All right, perfect. All right, so here's I almost always try to keep my natural reaction, and also you notice on my videos, like I don't cut out the first sip. Usually every other sip I will cut in and out, but the first one I like to keep in for the natural reaction, and also for the new videos I can add the pop-ups, but that's for a different class. All right, so let's see my first reaction.
I don't know what Jay's talking about. That's not that good. It's great!
All right, so that's another contender for the sting at the end. Although that one's kind of corny. All right, although it is short, so it just depends on how long this video goes. So I'm going to cut that and move that to the end again. I don't think that's like really good for a short. Leo, make a video here. You gotta move, dude. All right, back to it.
It smells really enticing. Cheers. Man, I am not a good actor at all.
Actually, you know that's pretty funny too. But I can keep that later. All right, so let's get back to the beer.
Yeah. Okay. It is very, very piney like. Massive.
All right, so I said I'm gonna keep that part. I said it's very Pliny like.
It is very, very piney like.
Keep that.
Massive bitterness.
Always cut out the ums and the ahs and all that stuff. So I'm gonna get rid of that.
Massive bitterness.
Which is funny because most hazies these days are very low in bitterness.
As soon as it hits your tongue. I don't think I have use on this. It's, I think they said it's over 100, but it definitely
feels like that. And it middle.
Leo, you gotta get down, dude.
As soon as it hits your tongue. I don't think I have use on this. It's,
I think it said it's over 100, but it definitely feels like that. In the middle and the back end, you get like all the juicy sweetness that I mentioned in the nose. Like,
All right, so I start commenting on taste here. So I'm gonna get rid of all this part. Kind of compared it to Pliny.
massive bitterness.
Look, we're about 15 seconds in. Actually, that's kind of late. Well, I guess it's about normal for my shorts, but let's see.
Piney like. Massive bitterness. In the middle and the back end, you get like all the juicy sweetness that I mentioned in the nose.
All right, Leo, you can sit here. Just be quiet, dude. I might cut that part out. Massive bitter. What did I say here?
In the middle and the back end, you get like all the juicy sweetness.
I don't need middle and back end, but I'll keep all the juicy sweetness.
All the juicy sweetness
Oh, that's not really sweet. It's just the flavor of juice.
that I mentioned in the nose.
I don't need
Kind of
that.
like tangerine, orange, passion fruit, guava.
I could do a super cut here of just... In fact, maybe that's what I'll do is I'll get rid of that juicy part. Leo. So I'll just like name the fruit. So I'm going to get rid of this.
That I mentioned in the nose. Like kind of like tangerine,
All right, so tangerine. Split there.
orange.
Even though it's only a half second between the words, I'm still cutting it out.
Orange.
Actually, I think I might have cut out tangerine like a half fraction of a second a little early there. Let's see.
Tangerine, orange, passion fruit, guava.
There you go.
The hot for ling's quite dry, so I'm gonna take it. Passion fruit, guava. The hot for ling right here though, so it's quite dry, so I'm gonna take a swig already. Amarillo type, oranginess, and the probably all the C brand hop varieties cascade.
I might keep that hop part in. All the C variety hops. Although that's kind of esoteric. The average beer drinker might not know what that means.
Chinook, you name it. Didn't have those citrusy type qualities. I do get pine on the back end.
All right, so I kind of repeat myself there. I say I do get pine on the back end, but so I'm just gonna go straight to pine on the back end. All right, we get rid of all this.
Pine on the back end.
There you go. Let's see what's next. We're at about 20 something seconds.
So it starts out like,
dry, bitter, just straight bitter, like orange juice, almost like tart, like fresh squeezed orange juice. Starts to transition to the more juicy, nectary type citrus and tropical fruit flavors with the pine, leaving kind of like a sticky pine resin aftertaste.
Okay, so I kind of like did a recap there, but now we can go straight to the end where I'm talking about kind of like the finish and all that.
Leaving kind of like a sticky pine resin aftertaste.
Okay. And then you see this gap right here. Just going to get rid of that. Hit split and just drag this over. By the way, I don't know how your editing software works, but mine, if you want to actually delete something, you have to make sure you hit stop. Otherwise, it'll just keep playing until it gets to the end of the video. It's very annoying. But something you can do is kind of do this drag thing like that while it's playing. But you can't hit, if you hit delete while it's playing, it'll just play infinitely. But I'm sure it varies by editing software.
Resin
aftertaste, almost like when you get in a wet hop IPA, but not quite that resiny. It's amazing how this beer can be this bitter and at the same time so refreshing. Just like every.
All right, that's kind of interesting. I'm saying it's this bitter and it's also really refreshing. So let's get rid of that.
This bitter.
I can get rid of where I say,
This bitter.
All right, pull that over.
And at the same time, so refreshing.
All right, we can get rid of that long and. I mean, grammatically, it's the same. Watch.
This bitter, at the same time, so refreshing. Just like every time it's
on my tongue, I'm just like, it's like drinking like 𝗏s. It's like my favorite energy drink, which I actually think is refreshing. It's so damn easy to drink too. It's not, super.
All right, so this is good because I'm talking about drinkability on here. Because I think you should comment on body, carbonation, texture, and just the overall drinkability. Like some beers are absolutely delicious, but like you have to drink them in small sips because they're so intense or something. A lot of like Belgian quads and in bourbon barrel imperial stouts and things like that.
It's so damn easy to drink too.
All right, perfect. Oh, they did say damn, so that might help, or that might hurt me with the algo.
It's not, super highly carbonated. It's not tepid.
All right, so again, I just commented on the body and mouthfeel there.
It's not, super highly carbonated. It's not tepid.
I did have a in there, but I guess I'll leave that. We're only at about 30 seconds. I still have lots of space. So, and I'm pretty much, even though like look how much, length of the video there is left. I've pretty much covered all the bases. So, and actually I think most people are only willing to watch like about a 30-second beer review anyway. So let's keep going here.
It's got like almost kind of a
creamy texture to it.
All right, so I just commented on texture. I'm gonna get rid of that almost. I'm just gonna go like straight to a creamy texture.
Kind of a creamy texture to it.
I can probably cut out to it. Let me see.
Have a creamy.
I kind of stumble over my words here. I'm just gonna go cut that out.
A creamy texture to it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. A creamy texture to it.
The body
is like, medium kind of thickness. It's not one of those sticky, syrupy.
All right, medium kind of thickness.
Medium kind of thickness is.
All right, I think that started with a so let's get rid of that.
Medium kind of thickness.
All right, so this is the hard part is where I want to cut where two words are like I'm just keep talking like the way I'm talking now and like to actually split it right between the two words takes some finesse. So what I do is I split right there and I'll move this over, play this back and see if you can hear the word.
Medium kind of thickness. It's not one of those.
And I got thickness. Add a couple extra microseconds there.
Medium kind of thickness. It's
Perfect.
Not one of those sticky.
In fact, it kind of starts to go into the next word, but I think it should be fine. All right, let's keep going.
Sticky, syrupy.
IPAs, which is, pretty impressive considering it's 8% ABV. And, when you get that high gravity, the IPA is going to turn into like carbonated syrup. They actually made a point of saying, the hop resins have settled to the bottom. Leave them in the can when pouring. So we'll try it from the can. I think the first time I reviewed something straight from the container. Now it's starting to taste.
All right, so that's kind of I don't think that really needs to be in the video. Unless, like, I was going to make this a two-parter or something, but, people just want to know how the beer tastes and if it's, in my thoughts. So
Syrupy.
I'm trying to, like, get to, like, what I used to do, and what I still do is towards the end of the video, I kind of just give my final thoughts and just, like, kind of sum up what I was thinking. So let's try to find that part.
Syrupy.
Type IPA. Yes, the description on the back is correct. It definitely is very resiny, more like that astringent type bitterness at the bottom of the can, but I'd say it's, in the Pliny, Ruination, 𝗁𝗏𝗏 territory, stuff like that. Really, really tasty.
I might keep that in there. Although I did mention Pliny and the other beers at the beginning, so I think we might. This might be the
Really,
good.
really tasty.
All right, so I'm gonna keep that really, really tasty. Get rid of this whole part.
Really, really tasty. Refreshing for an IPA, which is rare.
All right, I'll keep that in. Although, well, I already said it was refreshing, so I don't need that in there twice.
8%.
It doesn't really feel like that heavy of a beer. You certainly don't taste or smell any alcohol. High drinkability on this one. Very smooth. Easy to drink and taste is great. What's not to like? It's a pretty much perfect beer.
All right, that's pretty much a perfect summation right there. So I'm gonna delete that. Go here.
Easy to drink and taste is great. What's not to like? It's a pretty much perfect beer as far as I'm concerned. So.
All right, so we just got to get rid of a little fluff here. Move this over.
Easy to drink.
All right, I can get rid of the
Easy to drink and taste is great. What's not to like?
I think I repeat myself here. I think I said it's a, and then trail off, and then I say it's a perfect beer. So get rid of all that. Let's try this again. There's probably something in here I could cut out, but I think it's...
Easy to drink and taste is great. What's not to like? It's pretty much perfect beer as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'm going to give it the full 10 out of 10.
All right, and I always try to end with the rating. So I'm just going to go full 10.
I'm going to give it the full 10 out of 10 to the Alchemist 𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗧.
All right, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there might be something funny that I say after this, but I already have 2 candidates for the sting. That's a show business term for that, something after the credits, the like a catchphrase or something,
I'm going to give it the full 10 out of 10 to the Alchemist.
I can probably get rid of I can probably just go straight to full.
The full 10 out of 10 to the Alchemist 𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗧. I can see, why it's getting the buzz that it's
getting. Well, I got nothing to do my send-off with, so thanks for watching this episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Yeah, that's kind of lame, but I think we have 2 better contenders. See, right here is the minute mark, and we still have plenty of space here, although ideally I try to keep it to about 45 seconds or less, between 30 and 45. So which part was this?
That would be really interesting if, the best beer of 2012 is the first beer of 2012.
I'm going to get rid of that because, there's really no way for the viewer to know that this was shot on January 1st. So I'm just going to do this. I mean, it's a little corny, but it's also, maybe you laugh at it instead of with it, but whatever. How about this?
I don't know what Jay's talking about. That's not that good.
There's still a gap here, so I'm going to cut that out. And we're right under 48 seconds, about 49 seconds.
I don't know what Jay's talking about. That's not that good. It's great!
And that's kind of funny with taking the gap out there. All right, so we got the whole thing under about, 48, 47 seconds, something like that. I think that's pretty good. Maybe a few seconds longer than I would prefer. Now, we just need to get some music. So I want to show you, in case you don't know this, if you have any YouTuber, go into your studio, and if you go into customization, oops, not that, sorry, creator music, and then you go to browse, there are tons and tons and tons of free music on here. I'm just going to uncheck paid. It'll see how it says $0. So any of this music you could download and use in your videos without having to pay royalty. YouTube will automatically put the credits in the description for you. And then you can search by whatever genre you want. Maybe at Christmas, I'm just going to type in Christmas, and these are all, and also you could do instrumentals only, which I recommend for, see how it says no, the no dollar sign, that means you wouldn't be able to monetize it. I mean, if your channel's not monetized, that's not a big deal, but, if you want ones you can actually monetize, but this could be a whole other class right here, but I just wanted to show you that. So let's go back to the project. I'm going to go to add media, and I have an entire folder of free music that I download. See, it says music for background, and this band called Silent Partner, they did 400 or 500 songs for YouTube. These are all free, and you can use them without accreditation or, you know, revenue sharing or anything like that. So the problem is, like, I don't know by the names, like, what sound is which. Usually what I do is I just kind of grab one at random and hope that it syncs up. And if it doesn't, I can just grab another one. Although sometimes I try to grab the song title if it has something to do with the name of the beer or something. So is there something with heady? No. Let me say here. Is there something that says topper or top? Let me see. Trooper. Tractor pull. To the top. All right, let's do this one. To the top. All right, so I'm going to bring that down to the music. And obviously the song is way, way longer than the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here where the sting begins, hit split, delete this. And the music is very loud. So what I'm going to do is I can actually, this tab right here, if I pull down, where'd it go? It'll lower the volume of the music. And I usually go to it depends on how loud the song is and all that. So I usually go to about 14, negative 14. And let's see how it sounds and looks.
𝗕𝗘𝗏𝗧 by the 𝐁𝐞𝐞𝐫𝐓𝐮 8% ABV. Straight orange, little.
I turned it up a little.
Nice head on there. It's like white. Smells like a West Coast IPA. Very stone, very for taste. This bitter, tepid, a creamy, easy to drink in beer as far as I'm concerned. The 𝐁𝐞𝐞𝐫𝐓𝐮 𝗕𝗘𝗏𝗧. I don't know what Jay's talking about. That's not that good. It's great.
Is that a second? See these tick marks? That's a 1 second. So I'm going to move this over. I feel like a perfect 1 second pause is all you need. All right, so that's it. So I'm going to hit make movie, save in my heart. I always save it as MP4 format. Whoops, 𝗕𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗧 by the Alchemist. Now that's a subject for another class, is like the name of the beer. Because like that's kind of it's almost like Saison DuPont, where it's like you only say the name of the beer. You wouldn't really say the name of the brewery, but also the Alchemist 𝗕𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗧 sounds clunky. You could do the Alchemist apostrophe S 𝗕𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗧, but I think 𝗕𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, because it is so popular, is like all you need is 𝗕𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in there. That leads, followed by the brewery. So, all right, let's render this, and we will come back at the end and see how it looks. All right, and that's how you make it short. Sorry this class was so long, but I wanted to be really thorough. And it just goes to show that like even cutting like a 6 to 10 minute video down into 60 seconds or less, I mean, it's a kind of tedious process, but you know, if you do it all the time, it's going to help as far as the views. I mean, look at my follower count is going way up on Instagram and TikTok. In fact, let me show you the difference there. You can see the view counts right here. Most of them are less than 100. Every once in a while, I get something over 100, and like even some that I get, look at this, almost 1,000, you know, almost 800, 200. That's pretty good. But then let's see the same videos on, this is Instagram, and you can see most of these are getting at least 100, sometimes 2 or 3. Again, it all just kind of depends on the video. Even this is me unboxing a Tavour crate. That got 723 views. And then let's look at the same stuff on TikTok, and you can see most of this stuff's getting 700, 800. This one's only 2 views away from 1,000. Although these last 2 ones didn't hit. That's weird. I think it just goes by the thumbnail, but other things. Here's that Tavour one. I got 800 on there. You know, 800, 700, 65, 53. Come on. But you can see I get way better, you know, views on TikTok, even though I have way less followers, 822 compared to what, almost 3,000 on Instagram and almost 4,000 on YouTube. So shorts do much better on Instagram and TikTok than on YouTube. Thanks for watching. You're a good student. Check out the other entries in this series if you want to be a better beer tuber. And thanks for watching. And of course, subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you guys around. Cheers.